Hello, guys. Good morning. Welcome to today's episode on RSJ Media. I still hold the name to be Regan, and on today's episode, we are going to talk about the state of our educational system. So we have a very key person here who's going to take us through this issue. He goes by the name of Ofosu Manuel. So before I introduce my guest to you, please let's go for a very short break. Okay, guys, welcome back from that short break. So please, if today happens to be your first time of watching, kindly subscribe to the channel, like our videos, and share. So without wasting much time, let's move on to our dear gentleman here and dive deeper into the issue. So Mano, good morning.
Good morning, Reagan.
Please, how are you doing?
Very fine yourself.
I'm blessed by God's grace. So today we are going to talk about the state of our educational system. So what do you have to say about our educational system, looking at how things are going right now?
Well, I think Ghana's educational system is not anything to write home about because if you are to run a comparative analysis, you realize that Ghana is really lacking an educational system, taking into consideration the intermittent inconveniences like strike actions, by lecturers, theoretical aspects of our education, and the back and forth it comes with. So it makes it very problematic, for a Ghanaian student or a Ghanaian child to have that sort of education, to be able to fit into the global world of education because it's really nothing to write home about.
Okay, so do you see the youth having a brighter future based on what we are experiencing right now?
Well, I think the future is still green because the likes of um, uh, Nanaba Namwa, the likes of Opon Nkrumah, the likes of Haruna Idrisu will not be there forever. Most definitely, they would go, people would replace them. So the future is still green. It depends on how we tend to do our things right to find ourselves on the academic ladder.
Okay, so talking of doing our things right, what are some of the things that you think we have to do as a country or as a nation for a better educational system?
Well, I think that considering resources for lecturers is one because lecturers will not deliberately go on strike if they do not have the well-equipped resources to fund their finances and other activities, and also the sort of Ghanaian facilities we have because Kwame Nkrumah Hall was built for, let's say, a particular number, forgetting that as we move in to the years, most definitely would have more student population, more fertility rates, people will give birth, and so population do increase year by year. And so if a facility is able to hold 100 persons, then most definitely in 5 years to come, it will be 250 or even 300. And so what is the government doing about it? Do you get it? And so I think facilities to also, facilitate learning and teaching should also be, provided. All counts to be a part of the sort of academic or educational system we want to achieve as Ghanaians, and also the sort of opportunities we have out there. You get it? The universities or even the high schools should not only be limited to academics. Students might have talent or want to exhibit, explore them through the extracurricular activities, but you enter a sort of environment and you realize it's all about studying, it's all about passing to get the good grades,
Okay.
leaving the child's talent out. So it makes it very problematic in the sense that at the end of the day, the child will be able to achieve the sort of grades he or she wants. But what is the talent about? So what would the talent be done about to get it? So the likes of Kidi completing with first degree in economics from the University of Ghana. He has a degree in economics. If truly that is what he wanted to do, he would have worked towards it to get it. But realized the case, he happened to find himself in music,
Okay.
being it accident or being it the talent he really wanted to tread on. I feel that the environment should be that convenient, should be that conducive. In as much as you want to be a great journalist, the environment should be conducive. Volunteerism should be around. That I mean, people who want to do presenting, people who want to do media should be given the opportunity in as much as they want to juggle academics
Okay.
to make it so nice. So I think considering all these, the Ghanaian sort of educational system will be a good place to thrive on.
Okay, so you made mention of the resources that we need as a country to develop. And when it comes to Ghana too, we know that we lack when it comes to resources and those things. So apart from the resources, what other thing do you think we have to do as a country for a better, brighter future and to build a very good educational system?
So I believe in consistency. I believe in collective responsibility.
Okay.
So on the other side, each and everybody of us form a part of government. If you don't vote, government doesn't have the power to do whatever they want to do. So in as much as we form a part of the government, I believe in initiative. The youth should take initiative. I mean, you don't have to sit and wait that you'll be called. So, for instance, if you want to sit down, finish university, and write an application to a media house that, I mean, you want to be the presenter, you want to be a newscaster, what initiative did you take? And that is the initiative you are taking now. So, if everybody comes together to take an initiative, regardless the program you read, so I mean, I want to work, I want to start something, realize that everybody will be productive one way or the other, even if we don't see a rapid development, most definitely everybody would what develop or progress, because at the end of the day, if you take initiative, you're doing something and you expect someone to help you. I mean, per what you do and how feasible it is, you're able to attract even sponsorship from outside or even from your own fellow mate who'll be like, I mean, this guy is doing so good. Why don't I invest in what he's doing to make it, a success? And that is where a lot of people get their testimonies from. So you realize, oh, I started this business with this amount of money. I started this when I was in high school, started that when I was in university, and now I am here.
Okay.
So realize how it is good for everybody to take initiative. And so me, for instance, my vacations are always busy. Anytime I go home, I try to work, from one company to the other. Not just because I mean I feel like I want to work, but I want to gain some sort of experience.
Okay.
And in as much as you are gaining the experience, you realize how you tend to meet people from different spheres of lives. You
Okay.
get it? So you realize that if I tend to find myself in the bank working and I fall in love with the profession, I'm likely to diverse from the program I read and move into banking because of an initiative I took.
Okay.
So, in as much as we would always want to lay blame on government for poor leadership, whatever it is, lack of resources, and the others, I mean, governments have heard UTAG striked for 5 weeks. So, I mean, government is aware UTAG is demanding for better conditions.
Okay.
They hear day in, day out. I mean, they have people who monitor the news for them. So, some even watch the news themselves.
Okay.
You get it? So, always if it sits down, you realize you want to wait on government to come and do something. I mean, I don't know how far we are willing to go as a country and even the youth, and what we want to achieve at the end of the day. So we need to take initiative.
Okay.
We need to be productive. And at the end of the day, I believe everybody will have a nice story to tell.
So we shouldn't solely depend on the government.
That is the kind of economy we find ourselves in now. I mean, um, people will tell you that there are no jobs after university. I haven't completed. I don't know how true that is. But realize if you take an initiative, when people get to know you, when you're known for something, if you have that sort of brand.
Okay.
So I mean, when we mentioned Reagan, oh, the guy who grants the interview, the guy who is taking the initiative of becoming a journalist, I know that is your brand. And so
Okay.
at the end of the day, even if you don't get a job after school, you've already started something. You can employ somebody.
Okay.
You're monetizing what? The social media. Mind you, the social media is the new currency. That is what is paying. Gone are the days when you people would have to do the itinerant jobs, move from place to place, sell and all that. Now everything is in the media thanks to the proliferation of technology. People are all over the media, people are all over the internet trying to get, the sort of customer base, trying to make ends meet. So social media is the new currency. So I mean, that is the economy we find ourselves in now. That is the sort of leadership we came to meet.
Okay.
You get it? We can make a difference, but how do we start? We start by taking an initiative. We start by serving. We start by making the wrong the right. So that at least collectively, if everybody has the mindset of taking an initiative, believing in collective responsibility, and most importantly, believing that everybody forms a part of government. It is not only MPP, it is not only NDC. If you don't vote, MPP does not what exist.
Yes.
If you don't vote, NDC doesn't exist. So realize that if we all decide not to vote, we do not have a government. So that is how important the thumb works. Because if you don't cast a vote, nobody has time to come and stand on the podium and facilitate how you should live a life.
Talking of collective responsibility, what do you have to say about the two dominant political parties, that's the NPP and NDC? Do you think they have to come together to build a better educational system for the youth? Because in as much as they are two political parties, we have one country, one agenda that we have to fulfill. Do you think they have to come together to actualize the dreams of the country when it comes to our educational system?
So I always say that if you think your leaders will do fine, just take a glimpse on your school's SRC. What is your school SRC doing? You get it. What is the JCR doing? If they are working good, then that should tell you the kind of bright, future we have, because these are the same people that grace the screens from the university level to the national level, and these are the people we want to groom up there. You get it? I mean, if NDC has the required resources and personalities to make sure Ghana's education system is better, I feel that, they shouldn't look at how power drunk everybody wants to be.
Okay.
Because as it stands now, everybody wants to assume power. Everybody wants to hold on to the title of minister of this, minister of that. Everybody wants to hold on to the title of speaker of parliament, majority, and the titles would come. That is provided you want it.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, what impact are you serving? That is the better utility we look at. So realize how sometimes MPs come and they fail to even, provide the little things they promised their constituents.
Okay.
You get it? So if even if it is Ikadonkos party that we have educationists, we have politicians that they feel they can be much more of a better utility to make sure Ghana's educational system is better.
Okay.
It shouldn't always be like, give me the opportunity to come. Move out of the party,
Okay.
provide whatever idea you think would be of the best interest of the country. If they buy into it, fine. If they do not buy into it, at least you have made an impact.
Okay.
We have a lot of activists around. Tell them your ideas if you feel you cannot actively protest for what is right.
Okay.
You get it? When it comes to the green light and government feels that, this sort of activism is dominant, I will buy into it. You get it? But if other political parties feel that they have the right people that can better off, serve a better utility in any nook and cranny of the Ghanaian sort of economy, Bennett trade, education, whatever it is, come on board. Let us know what you have.
So we should think about the country
That is the
first.
thing. At the end of the day, If a political party wants to gain power, they are of the belief that they can serve a better utility to the country,
Okay.
the same way other political parties will feel like. So, the same way you realize that, Legon, Ken West UCC will think that, my school has better lecturers.
Okay.
It's the same way when they go for a meeting, all of them reach a consensus because two words are better than one.
Very true.
You get it? So, if all of them are reaching a consensus and all of them come to the agreement, this is what we think would serve much more of a better utility to the country's development. Let us buy into it. Forget who is coming. Forget I'm from KNUST. Forget I'm from Ghana's first university. Forget I'm from Ghana's best, global university. At the end of the day, how do we develop the country?
Okay.
Is what we look at.
Most of the times, even when it comes to the government sectors, when you are working and they see that you are putting in much effort, they'll be like, "Ade, adwuma ne wo papa Diana, this is a government work." So that mindset that we have when it comes to government work and stuff, do you also have something to say about that one too?
So, literally, I would say that as Africans, we have that sort of perception that if it is not ours, we do not protect it. So more or less like a dog in a manger. They have a saying in Tree that konongo kaya onwa onye. Obinso
So yeah,
yanswa. So if you're a dog in the manger, how do you expect progress?
okay,
You get it? In as much as it is not yours, it is for the government. That is why I stressed on everybody forms a part of government. You get it? If all universities is going to, let's say, have a relapse, it affects the Ghanaian student. Maybe you might not have a child in the university, but your auntie might have, or even your uncle might have, and at the end of the day, you don't know. Most of the time, they tell you, "Obi name Obrimpon Ashase."
yes,
You get it? This is not the sort of educational system we met.
okay,
The likes of Kwame Sefakai, the likes of John DeMello, the likes of the big personalities we have today, during the educational system, population wasn't as much as we have today. You get it? So it was that easy to get a job. Or I should say, not too much of an easy peasy, but getting a job, realize that with your qualifications, you're able to fit in.
okay,
But here lies the case, this is the type of Ghana we have now. Everybody wants to come to the university. Everybody wants to earn a degree because, it is the notion that earning the degree makes you successful. Fine. Some people will come and they might not even be successful. Some people come and it works for them. You get it? At the end of the day, it is government work. But mind you, government is looking at serving a better utility. Government is looking at progressing and bettering the lives of we Ghanaians. So if someone, exhibits a lackadaisical attitude towards a government work with a perception, it is not mine, it is not that of my fathers. If I'm a part of government, you get
okay,
it. At the end of the day, if you are thinking about your salary, it's fine. But what if government decide not to pay you? That is when you realize that at the end of the day, I need to make ends meet. Government is not paying me.
okay,
Forgetting that maybe your work was not even really, productive. You didn't serve any productive analysis that demands a payment, and that is
okay,
when the Ghanaian child will forget that, oh, my year juma year and intana young year. So imagine you sell tomato and you don't visit places, you don't even send it to the market to be sold, and it goes bad. How do you make ends meet? Nti ohona akituane mba one, the person forgets that, oh, ejuma na manye ni ye ntiana aiden akituane den amba.
yes,
But he or she will forget that productivity analysis,
okay,
hits the street with placards.
okay,
Government is not paying me. Oba Ejumano, how productive have you been?
okay,
You get it? But they will not even think about it. Everything is government, everything is government, everything is government. Lecturers are demanding a better pay, and they will be the same lecturers to preach against e-levy. So if you're against e-levy, where do you expect government to make funds for you?
Okay.
Because I mean, it is through these revenues, these taxes that we generate, that is able to put food on some of the profession's table.
Okay.
You get it? So I'm not saying I'm in full support, but I mean, I think that as Ghanaians, it will be fine. Just that it is not something we started with.
Okay.
Taxation is not something we started with in the African country, but the whites started with taxation. So realize that even if the Ghanaian moves abroad,
Okay.
you meet the sort of taxation. It is not your country. You
Okay.
go by it.
Okay.
You get it? So I don't think that the payment of the e-levy is more or less like the problem Ghanaians are facing right now. It is how they will be able to accept it. And also on the other hand, how leaders will be able to make good use of it.
Okay. So you think we should embrace that?
I mean, gradually we would embrace it if we want Ghana to progress.
Okay.
You get it? Because Ghana has already started and then, or gaining international recognition out there.
Okay.
We see
And
it.
do you think that's a right channel for the country's progress?
I mean, when you talk about
Because
progress,
there has been a lot of initiatives from the past, and this is not the first thing that they are trying to bring on board. And how sure are you that this e-levy is going to be the right channel for the country's progress?
so for a success to be achieved, realize there should be a failure.
Okay.
So, I mean, first attempt in learning is the full meaning of fail. And institutions continue to live on risk basis.
Okay.
So the fact that other initiative did not work doesn't mean that this might not work.
Okay.
Every institution takes risks. You get it? The likes of Nam1 took risks, and at the end of the day, they made it. Even if they didn't make it, I mean, they were able to get a lot of Ghanaians on board.
Okay.
So the fact that comparing precedents that they brought this and it didn't work doesn't mean this would work. But my problem is that how do we expect to develop? We learn abroad they pay tax.
Okay.
But my problem is how receptive it will be in Ghana because this is not something we started with. So imagine in 1957, if we started with this taxation thing, you think even now, if you are bringing e-levy, it will be problematic?
Mm,
No, it wouldn't. I mean, because that is what we started with.
okay.
But that is not what we started with. From independence gaining, we do not pay physical tax. I mean, we pay other form of tax, but we do not see.
Okay.
When we go to the mall to buy value added tax VAT and other form of tax we pay, but they are indirect taxes. But there is a direct tax that the Ghanaian, is seeing. It's because sending mobile money at 60 this forgetting that when I buy bread from the mall, a percentage is taxed. You get
Okay.
it? So it is how receptive it will be like. So I mean there will be a lot of banters around it. Nah, yeah, engine to me, engine to me, engine, that kind of thing. But when the Ghanaian sits down, when it is well explained to the illiterate,
Okay.
it's well explained to the literate, it is well explained to the political messengers who will go out and explain to the people that this is the reason why we want it. I feel that if they're able to do a better job, a time will come, Ghanaians would, be receptive towards the sort of taxation system whatever government wants to bring on board. So at
Okay.
the end of the day, it serves a better utility.
Okay. Okay. So, let's come to this issue too. So we know that we have a lot of schools in this country, of which some of the students do sit under trees, some on even stones to learn. But then we know that we have a lot of incomplete buildings in the bushes and stuff, of which when the government they come on power, maybe the previous government will start an initiative when he's not able to finish, and then the next government comes, that government is not going to continue with what the previous one started. So talking of building a good educational system with this, do you have anything to say about this issue too?
Every government wants to prove that when I came, I was able to do this. So leaving the sort of development previous government started. Because at the end of the day, mind you, Ghanaians have the perception that say ɛyɛ Mahama na ɛhyɛ aseɛ na Akufo Addo bɛwie a yɛnim sɛ Mahama na ɛhyɛ aseɛ nti Mahama na ɛyɛ den
The
ɛsiiɛ.
credit will go to Mahama.
I mean, if the credit goes to Mahama, if it goes to Nana Addo Danquah Akuffo Addo, if it goes to whoever it is, at the end of the day, it is Ghana
Okay.
and a sa facility near them. Nsi abrichime mu. You get it? All we know is that UCC was built, and UCC is located in Ghana, specifically Cape Coast. Mahama is CEO, Nkrumah is CEO. At the end of the day, it's Ghana.
Okay.
You get it? So the sort of credibility they want to get at the end of the day, it doesn't put food on your table, because if you say you are of Ghanaian interest, you shouldn't even care about who started it or who
Okay.
even completed it. I mean, you can start something and a different government will come and do renovation. At the end of the day, it
It's
is
the
in
country that
Ghana.
we are serving. Okay.
You get it? Mahama and Shas, yeah. I mean, Kwame Nkrumah built some schools over some years. Headmasters, headmistresses come on board. Day in, day out, to do renovation. Into Obana or your renovation or the so at the end of the day, it is still a Addo College we have. It is still in Fansipim. It is still St. Peter's we have. You get it? So it shouldn't be like Kwame Nkrumah and Shasi and Kwame Nkrumah should forever be there and come and continue. Because it's like that. You cannot be president forever. Oba kono bi nso ayɛ aba. What I say? It is say obi ba ene wintimi we are oba abetoa so.
Okay.
If you truly say you are for Ghana, if truly you say you want to be of Ghanaian interest, you get it.
Okay. All right. So, based on what you are saying, it should be a collective responsibility. It's
Yeah.
not solely the responsibility of one individual. Even the NGOs, everyone has a role to play when it comes to the country's progress and development. All right. So, wrapping up, let's quickly move to the teachers too. So, with regards to the teachers, some of them, though we have the necessary facilities and the resources that we need for better educational system, some of them, based on their attitude towards work, you have anything to say about that?
Okay, so I would say that we live in an environment where people are not given the opportunity to explore what they want to do. You get it? I mean, I read BSc psychology. I'm a science student. I'm a psychology student, but I tend to find myself in the media.
Okay, I'll even come back to that. I'll ask you a question on that.
You get it? So, if lecturers or teachers are not doing much more of the teaching job, it could be that they were compelled to be in the profession,
Okay.
or even the economy compelled them to be in the profession. Because as it stands now, if government comes and government is like, okay, I'm paying doctors 1 billion in the country. Realize how a lot of people would want to read medicine.
Okay.
You get it? I mean, whether or not they have a passion for it or they do not have a passion for it,
Okay.
they would want to move into the field, because I mean, government is offering 1 billion. You get it? Sometimes I do not blame
So
them.
the person is going in because of the money over there, not because the person has a passion for the job.
So some people are passion driven. But now the economy we find ourselves, looking at how difficult it is even to find a job,
Okay.
and someone reads, let's say, a course that is not even in relation to teaching, a banner abaying to your lecturer's car, 5,000 every month. Nipa no nso hwɛ na ebi odwuma a ɔyɛ no ɔgye 300 cedis monthly a, the person would by force be a teacher.
Yes, it's very
So
true.
that is the system we find ourselves.
Okay.
So sometimes I say that, I mean, one way or the other, you do not meet the best teachers you have. So
Okay.
someone cannot proudly say it, or, I mean, boast of all my teachers are my favorites. One way or the other, we have one that becomes our favorite.
Yes, very true.
You get it? So it happens like that sometimes. So I always say that do not look at the negative side of the teacher, look at the positive. The person might not even have good teaching skills, but the person makes very profound sense. You get it? Depending on answer, but even how to facilitate the classroom sort of environment, or you sit here, when you sit here, you'll be able to get the concept well. So maybe even mix intelligent people with the struggling people in classroom becomes very difficult, but the person is well to do with knowledge
Okay.
in the field. You
All
get
right.
it? So I mean, the student, it depends on the student to look out for the positive aspects and build on it.
Okay. So, Mano, thank you very much for having you on the show. So, before we wrap up, do you have any shout outs to those watching us right now, to your friends and anyone?
So I'll say a very big thank you to my mom. I'll say a very big thank you to my sister, to my brother. I mean, they have been my supportive system growing up. My sister is just that, very considerate. I call her, oh, I want to do this. It's a good idea, do it. We support you. A very big shout out to all my friends from every nook and cranny, the length and breadth of every university, from Legon to Ken University, even here on campus, and to my fellow custodians. I always tell people that you do not know where you will meet people. Be good, be kind. Because at the end of the day, it might be you that might give me a job. It might be someone watching me that might give me a job. So be kind, be good. So I mean, a big shout out to local nooks. I am so much profound of that student body. My very KOD president of Kisili Fort Hall and Gazi, my entertainment chairperson, like everybody, and the likes of Anatalu, local nooks aspirants, they have really been much more of a support system for me, and you as well. I'm so much grateful for, I mean, making time to learn from me and also making time to learn from you. That is all life is about. You get it? You need to learn from each other. It doesn't matter the money you have, the experience you have. If you want to move into a field and someone has the sort of in depth knowledge ahead of you, it doesn't matter how grown you are than the person.
Okay.
Take the initiative, move to the person, learn from the person. God bless us all.
Okay, Mano. Thank you very much once again. So, viewers, please, this brings us to the end of today's discussion. So, before I end it, I want to say a very big shout out to everyone doing the watching right now. To my parents, they are very, very supportive. When I started this whole thing, they've been supporting me. Yes, I believe they will watch this video too. And please, dear viewers, kindly subscribe to the channel, like our videos. We need your comments in the comment section, please. So that brings us to the end of today's program. We will catch up with you some other time. Thank you.